Okay, guys, so I've decided I'm going to do this in a couple takes. What that really means is I'm just going to pause the recording in between different explanations. For example, right now I have up the repository browser, and what you're seeing here is on the top side of this, this is everything that I have saved on my computer, where it's located, what files are in the highlighted folder, etc., etc. Everything on the bottom should match exactly what's on top. Now, the reason why I point that out, where normally I wasn't actually planning to, is because I got a comment on the Ouroboros MMO Project Facebook page asking me to kind of do this like a tutorial, where this is actually going to be something that I'm going to be building for the in-game server. This is the actual server. This is the world map. And this is actually the area that we're going to be building. As soon as I can get this to work properly. There we go. So this is the area that we're actually building right now. This little pixelated area right here, right by the yellow. And the reason why I want you guys to notice this is because this is where the Dwarven capital city is located. And this island over here, well, I'm not going to get into what that is, but needless to say, it will connect. You will be able to go there if all goes according to plan. So, again, world map, we're going to be building this area right here. Actual in-game server, gotta love the checkerboard pattern. Remember I said in the video yesterday, I could not stand staring at this. So that's going to be the first thing that we change. And repository browser. Yay, repository browser. So, Eric, I hope you're taking notes. Repository, my stuff, server stuff, game world. Okay? Cool. Alright, moving forward. So, one of the things I want to note about the in-game server is that this character is Hero Engines. I did not make this character. I wish I was this awesome, but I'm not. I suck with character models right now. I swear I'm learning. So, but not mine. So we're just going to follow around the chick with the steampunk axe. So that's going to cut for this take. I'm going to pause real quick and grab some coffee. Okay guys, I'm back. I have my coffee. And by the way, I just want to note that I am sitting here with our project manager, Aubrey Castillo. Say hi, Aubrey.
What's up, guys?
He's not going to be doing a whole lot of talking, I hope, unless I have to fire him again. So, back to what I was saying before, this is the main server. And this is going to be a concept of what I'm actually working to make. This area over here is supposed to be the Zen Garden. This is the armory, the main palace foyer, if you will. This is supposed to be a temple, and this is the main throne room. I have many little hallways, little niches, but the reason why I say that this is a concept is because, one, if I upload it to the server, it will be so large that it just isn't manageable. And two, I have building blocks to simulate all of this, mostly. But again, concept, this is where we're at right now. So, before I showed you where we're going to be building, which is this area right here, and I'd like to note that we decided ahead of time that the actual palace is going to be separated from the Dwarven city by a mountainous region. So the first thing that I'm going to get done is the mountains. So we're going to go over here to my camera and go out here to the outskirts. And one of the reasons why I'm not running with the character, you can't even see the character anymore. This area is going to be so large. And the width and depth of this is 200 by 200. That's 200 square meters. So each of these little squares is a meter. So let's go to my terrain editor. And we're going to change this. I find that this thing's a little touchy. And what you're looking at right now is, again, the way everything is set up in the server. So we're going to go over here to the meadow assets, textures. That's the grass. Apparently have moved them. Cool. That's the one I need. So this is the normal map. This is the one that we need for that. So, grass, hooray. No more gray checker pattern, because it annoys me so bad. I don't know why, it just bugs me. So, I'm also going to add to this at a later point. For now, we're just going to build the area, and I will add more textures later. Onto my brushes. I'm going to increase the size of this a little bit. Now again, the Dwarven area is supposed to be surrounded by mountains, and that's why I'm going around the edge of my 200 meters. It's because, alright, that ought to be enough to mark off that corner there. There we go, much faster. Now to get around, I'm just using the traditional MMO. W forward, S back, A and D side to side. So, I cannot speak well enough about how well Hero Engine works, even though I have had my problems with it, I'm not going to lie. Things that should have been easy, or at least seemed like they should be easy, were not. But, oh well. Now, one of the other reasons why I'm doing it this way and going around the sides is because I don't want to accidentally run off the map again. And I say again because I've done it and I've crashed the server. I actually had to completely delete the character that I was using off the server for the modding to get it to work again. So I don't want to do that again. So that's why I'm starting out this way. So I'm going to pause this while I finish up, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so I finished up building our little sandbox. Just to kind of show you what I did, I'm going to go back onto the camera. See all of our fun little mountains. These will get taller at some point. I really was more focused on building the sandbox so I have my build area. Pull a Superman real quick. We're going to be building in this area right here. So, that being said, let's go back down here. Now, my library, I don't have any real snapshots to speak of on any of my assets. For example, here is the Dwarven Bridge. And I don't have a snapshot of it yet, and the reason why it's all one color or one texture is simply because I don't have a single texture for this yet. So I didn't put anything else on it. I just did the one. This is to remind me, hey, this needs a single texture. But since I don't need this right now, we're going to move this up and out of my way. Because knowing me, I will put this somewhere where it will get in my way. Aubrey can attest to this. I've done it dozens of times. Haven't I, Aubrey?
Oh yeah.
Alright, so let's start. That looks like a good place. Library. And I have a lot of tests on here. Wasn't really planning on doing a build video, but here we are. Dwarven bridge. Let's add an item. So I'm going to go over here. And yes, this is the test name for our server. This is not the game name. Although I don't think I'm going to be changing that ever. Let's make this a little larger so I can see names. 1. Where'd it go? There it is. Alright. Add item. We're only really working with the bottom floor at the moment. So I'm only going to upload the bottom ones to the library. I'll add the others at a later point. And you'll notice all the funny names at the end. B03 underscore D02, that stands for bottom, or Dwarven Palace building block, bottom floor, number 3, doors 2, or doors 2, block 2, just tells me what I have on there. Like this has 1 door, this one has no doors, etc. So, yes, we want to save it, and hey, look at that, no texture. So, go over here. This is kind of a cheap workaround that I found one day. And this is all of our different textures that this has on it. Go into here. One of the things about Hero Engine is if you don't actually upload your different assets to things and then connect them to the asset, like for example, you notice that I don't have the funny disco ball thing going on over here with the entire model anymore. It's because I've done this, where I'm manually adding in the textures, which again, I don't have a single texture for these blocks, so I'm going to finish adding these. There we go. And then we'll be able to move forward. I'll use this one for now. There we go. And yes, I did build these. I tend to use Blender more than anything, but I export everything from there to Maya, which is what you're supposed to use. I just export everything because I know more about how to use Blender than I do Maya. It's just more comfortable for me. Which one is it looking for? Jade. There we go. And it's looking for Ruby. I don't have a Ruby texture uploaded yet. So instead, I'm going to use my redwood. And this is really just all temporary. Alright. We're going to set you down. Drop our player in. And hey, look, we're on the bottom floor. Yay, bottom floor. So, we're going to go back over here to our concept. Lego. again, you'll note that I am in Blender. I do know more about how to use Blender than I do how to use Maya. I'm going to need a front door, and that's not the asset that we need for a front door. So, to remind myself later what that one is, we are going to add a snapshot. Just for fun. Why not? Move back. Get a nice little view on there. Move this over. Ooh, I don't want the bridge in the background. But I do want the mountains in the background just because it looks cool. Snapshot. And there's our snapshot. Now, forever, until I decide to take another one, we now know that that has 3 walls and is completely open. I'm kind of half tempted to turn on my webcam and put Aubrey on the web, but I'm not going to. You're fired, Aubrey. Yeah, again, that's what, 6 times today? 4? Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be moving.
Yep. I'm sure there will too. Alright guys, I'm going to upload all of the bottom floor assets that I have. So I'm going to pause my recording for a second while I take snapshots of all of what these are. And that way, we don't have to waste a lot of time. See you guys in a second. Okay guys, I'm back. It took me a little bit longer to get back than I would have liked, but Aubrey had to go, and I had to get these colored and have snapshots taken. Now, you'll notice that I haven't placed them all on the ground. I have a couple reasons for that. The first being that I'm not sure which one I'm going to start with yet. It's going to be either this one or this one. So, I'm actually going to refer back. I'm sorry, or this one. There's 3 that I might start with. The reason why I say that is because I have other blocks that I haven't filled in yet with all of the materials, so we'll get to that part and I'll show you exactly how lengthy it was. I know I kind of went over it a little bit earlier, but yes. So, that being said, let's kind of take a look here. I'm going to slide all of these out of my way, like so. Let's pull this one a little bit closer and slide it back. Yeah, that'll work. Drop you down. Oh, too far. Nope. So, there is actually a really cool snap to grid tool in Hero Engine that I really like. There's really not enough good things that I can say about Hero Engine. I do love it. There is a forum for people who have questions. If you have any questions or anything about how to do something, the people there are really nice. They're always happy to help. So that's why I chose Hero Engine for our MMO project. That, and it has the freedom to do the sorts of things that we want to do. For example, the amount of customization we want to include. It's just a small matter of scripting, how you want to do it, how you want the user interface to look while you do it, things like that. So, again, yeah. Of course, Aubrey leaves, and then the uhs start again. My apologies, guys. It's really just me gathering my thoughts. I think we're going to end up starting with this one as our front door, which, if you notice, over here, we have one front door right there. It's right there. Yay, front door. So, one front door. Yay, front door. Now, one thing I would like to note about this front door is that we do see this little spacer right here. I really like that spacer being there, and I have assets that look similar. They're a little bit more detailed than that. But if we go back to the server here, we'll notice that none of my blocks even so much as have roofs. There is a reason for that. You'll notice these nice little steps that I've built. And one thing I'd like to show you, I'm going to lift this one up. One thing I'd like to show you guys is this. The very bottom. I actually built all of the middle blocks first. And all of my middle blocks have a section that is extended down. Now, this red outline that I've done here, what that is that will tell me when I've covered up the seam here. And that's very important because we don't want any awkward spaces just sitting there. So we're going to move this over here. Now I just need to decide where I want the front door. So let's kind of fly up for a second. Look, there's our bridge. That's north. Let me take a look at our map. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it face north. So, again, this is why I have the world map open, and it's important that I note now that this is actually exactly why I have this. So, it allows me to, one, figure out exactly where it is that I'm going. Now, why the zoom tool is acting the way it is, I don't know, but so, that's odd why it's chosen to do this. Not really sure. Anywho, so again, the actual palace is going to be about right here. And like I said earlier, the palace itself, we decided, is going to be surrounded by a mountain range. So figure that these mountains are probably going to be right here. And we're actually working within this little pixel right here. Even though that pixel is not here, and I can't use it as a reference point, it's still important to know where we're working. You still taking notes, Eric? I hope so. This will be on a test. Anyway, moving forward, we're going to rotate this now, and our wonderful rotate tool gives us this little globe. Now, we want it to be facing north, and we do want it a little bit more over here, but I want to face it north first. I'm weird like that, don't mind me. But if it gives me too much trouble, there we go. So we're going to face her north. Cool. And now we're just going to drag her forward. And I say her just because, for some reason, that's just how people refer to inanimate objects. There's no real significance to these blocks other than the fact that they are what they are. They are just blocks. I might just use this one as a placeholder. I don't like this wall right here that you see right there. I'm not a big fan of that being there, so I may or may not do a version of this with just the door and no wall here. But I haven't decided yet. Again, this is just one of those moments where it's more fun to figure it out as we go. It's kind of how I've been doing this since last July, is I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go, which is okay. Now, we're going to do the snap to snap selection to grid. Snap selection. Okay, cool. Show grid. Yay, see the grid? Yay, grid. Place on grid. No. Okay, I think we work. Yay, alright. And it is flat on the grid. Yay! Flat on the grid. Woohoo! You know what I forgot to do, though? Is I forgot to upload the pillar that's supposed to go up here. That's no fun. Oh well. That's something I'll do later. right now I'm busy playing with the camera. So now let's go back over here to our other blocks. Now again, this is what we're trying to build. This is the concept, and I mean, we may or may not end up just like this. You'll notice I do have bridges, and again, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this bridge just yet. I might use a few of my blocks and just cascade it over. This was really just meant to be a concept. So, and I actually want to note, for the record, you see these kind of castle-like turret thingies that are up here? For the life of me, I can't remember what they're called. I don't have any assets that do this. I don't have the fun little lip on there. I was doing the build in Blender for the different blocks, and I actually decided against doing that. I didn't like it. There is, however, like a handrail asset that I've made, and I'm going to be using that instead up here, as well as around edges like this. This is really just this is supposed to be a stairwell. As you can see, stairwell. Yay, stairwell. But I decided to kind of get rid of these. I don't like them. But I'm going to put a handrail and duplicate it around. So if you don't see that, that's why. I haven't done that yet. I also haven't applied any of the fake textures that I have. I say fake texture because it's not the single texture form that I want for these, but the multi-texture instead. And I am probably going to have a little bit of an issue with this. It's going to be a pain. Alright, cool. There are my building blocks. Alright, let's move them all over here. Hey, don't go through the floor. It's not nice. You guys will notice I do talk to myself quite a bit. Hey, hey. No. I don't know why, but I figure as long as I'm not arguing with myself and losing, we're okay. So, next thing I'm going to do, so again, front door is over here. Now remember, we do have that armory that is on, there it is. Sorry about that, guys. We do have that armory that is supposed to be right about where this mountain is, so we need to pull this back a bit. I say we, I mean me. I need to pull this back a bit and move it over. We're going to move you over here, move you down. Okay, so the armory is going to be about right here, and I'd like to note there is a bit of a distance between the main armory with this hallway right here and the front door. Now this is supposed to be another door. I haven't built any of the doors yet. It's something that I'm going to apply later, just for the simple fact that I want to, the way I would like to do it is that the doors stand open and that if clicked will open up. Being that this is going to be kind of a main walkway, I'm probably not going to do that because you'll just have players clicking it open and clicking it closed on other players. It wouldn't work out. But there may or may not be a way to do it where you can open it but you have to wait so long, or you can close it and you have to wait so long. Not really sure how I want to do that yet. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this as I go. We're going to go back to the front view on this, just for fun, and go back to the build. So, there's our front door. I kind of want it here, where it's sitting now. And we're going to snap selection to the grid. Alright, are we done? Cool. We are done with that part. Probably just going to use this as a filler block for now. I really don't like that wall. I know what I can do. You come here. I'm probably going to regret this later, but whatever. Not a problem. Let me take a look at my concept real quick. Aha! Alright, so, see this building right here? It's a little bit taller than you would normally expect, and I don't have a floorless asset to speak of. So, snap to grid. I don't have any floorless assets to speak of. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to set this right here. Now, when I designed the building blocks, the whole purpose behind them is literally that I'm going to be able to set certain ones of these in different patterns. Whoop. Alright, let's rotate this a little bit. This is the one that has 2 doors at funny angles, I want to note. So we're actually going to rotate it. And we're going to rotate it a solid 90 degrees and slide you back into place. Alright, we're going to turn that off for a second. Just because I need to get in here so that I can select the block that I'm in. You. Don't be like that. Let's drop the character in just for fun. I can always pull this grid back up. I don't really need it right there. All right. So, in the comments section, I hope that you guys can tell me why I have these little red lines here, even though it's going to be obvious in about 3 seconds. Why I have those there like that. It's kind of a cheat, I know, but it does tell me exactly what I need to know. Alright, we're going to go back to the character and get her out of my way. Alright, move it over. I feel like I should be playing music or something in the background, but that's just going to distract me. Come on. So, we run into a slight problem. These aren't scaled the same way. Don't know why. I worked very hard to try and get them scaled right. But they're not. So we're just going to make a minor adjustment right now. And we'll have to make this adjustment again later, I'm sure. But for now, it's just the one time. Get these lined up right. I'm not sure 100% whether or not what I'm looking at. Oh, nope. I see what I'm looking at. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try and... yeah, it looks pretty flat now. Stop that. Okay. Yeah, these lines don't quite line up. Most of them do. But since I don't really want people to see that. Okay. So, see that side right there? We are now going to rotate a full 90 degrees. Okay, so rotating. And it should just pop right into place. Let's find out. Shall we? Oh, sure didn't. Didn't quite go far enough. There we go. There's my grid. Yay, cheater grid. Hooray, cheater grid. Seam. Alright, that doesn't quite... I wish I could kind of blame my ineptitude with the fine-tuning on Hero Engine, but I really can't. I'm really just crappy. I'd also like to note that I don't have any formal training in 3D modeling. I don't know if that was obvious or not. Probably. Anybody who knows 3D modeling would have noticed. But for those who didn't and don't know, I have no training in 3D modeling. I really don't. So everything that I have done, I learned how to do starting last July. And that's God's honest truth. Last July, I just decided, screw it, I'm going to learn, and here I am. So. Come on, line up. Line up, you know you want to. Alright, now we're just going to scale it to size, right into where it needs to go. Because for some reason, my scaling didn't quite work right. There we go. It's all in place now. Or not, I can still see the seam. Oh, that's why I can see the seam. There we go. Mostly. We're really, you know what, we're just going to bond these two together. They would be like brothers. You just slide them together now. And a little bit, because I went a little too far when I slid it away. Make sure I've got it right. And this is a really lengthy process, in case anyone was wondering. It is a process. Too far. Come on, sit. I need you to sit where you go. Now, when I originally planned these, I hadn't planned on doing a lot of resizing. I just kind of hoped that I'd get them all right the first shot, but as we can see, that wasn't the case. So So I'm probably going to have a lot of resizing in my near future. Or I can make Aubrey do it. Not really. I'm probably going to make Aubrey do it. I'm not going to lie. So. Alright, so we see our nice little space. I'll come back. I'm more interested in just making sure all of these are placed. That we don't have these awkward seams showing. What I'll do is I'll probably end up making piece togethers the way that they should be. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Just up a hair. Curse my uber sensitive mouse. There we go. Yeah, it looks right from that angle. Though I'm still curious as to why I can see that seam. Oh, looks like I have some object editing to do. I really hate that it does that. Can't just move over a hair. See, it looks good from that angle. There's a couple little things that I can see. For those who are wondering, this is why I would like somebody who's really good with Hero Engine, who knows world building, who can do this, and can explain to me why I can always see the seams when you're supposed to be able to do it and not see them. Oh, well, probably would help if these walls were the same size. Is that the way it is on all of them? I know, I'm having way too much fun with the fly mode. Okay. We're going to call it done. We're going to call it done because I could probably spend all night just positioning that one, and I really don't want to do that, and I'm sure it'll be very boring. So, moving forward, we are past the entrance now. We're over here now. So that first one was supposed to be here. And we're just kind of building onto it. There's our map. Not the thing I wanted to click. Well, let me see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Huh. Okay. I know what we have. We're good. Oop. Not down. Up. Put you down. On the ground. Snap the grid. There we go. Pop you over. Hey, look at that. Yeah. Alright, rotating. Now, if you're curious as to what it is that I'm doing, let me explain. There's a door over here. We have a block. We have a block that isn't quite on the ground. See? So, in order to establish our concept a little more closely, we're going to do this. We're just going to move her over. I don't like that block there. We're going to move it. I don't like that block being there because it's not open enough. Now these are supposed to... These with the doorways right here are supposed to touch other walls that have doors. And it appears as though I don't have a block with 3 with just the 2 open walls. So we're going to have to go back. I'm going to use a mid block. And really, all I'm doing is I'm now putting placeholders in here. Again, none of these have single textures. Not one of them has a single texture. They're all multi-texture. Guys, I've got to pause for a minute. That's the wife calling. I will talk to you guys. Okay, guys, terribly sorry about that. That was just the wife asking if I wanted Panda Express, and I really shouldn't say the wife. That was my wife, and she wants Panda Express. So we're going to have Panda Express for dinner. Not to make any of you hungry, but that's what's going on. Alright. Now let me see what I have here. Yes, library changed. Save it. Of course I want you to save it. Alright. This was my original base block. I know it's all kaleidoscopy, and apparently I can go through it. Huh. I can go through it one way. Well, that's no fun. Can I go through the other walls? Now I gotta test them. Great. Dang it. I was hoping to avoid this. No. No. There's that seam. What the heck? That's gonna bother me. That is really gonna bother me. Alright. Now you see why I use the camera for everything. It goes so much faster. But this isn't necessary evil. Uh-oh. Did I put it too high? Okay. I have a feeling that I did. I better go find out if you can even step up onto this, because I might need to pull these down a little bit. Nope. Alright, cool. We're good. Alright. Now let's run over here, double check these walls. I already know that the bridge works, so I already checked it. Sorry, the bridge works over there. Okay, bridge. Yeah, bridge. Yep, alright. That works. That's working. Collisions are all good. Alright, cool. Back to the camera. Camera mode! Alright, back up here. You're not the one I want, so we're going to delete you. Library. Let's try mid 3. What are you? You are another version of my base block. Great. Not what I want. What are you? Haha! Open floor. This is something that I needed. I could probably just map out the whole thing with these and then decide how I want to do it. I don't want to be cheap like that, though. I'd actually like to kind of show you a little bit about how this is going to look without going to the extent of saying, hey, look, here's a flat thing. Now imagine a wall. Did I mention it's really awkward just talking to yourself? It really is. I mean, I know that you guys are hearing me, but right now, while I'm recording it, I have no idea the things that you're going to be saying while you're watching the video. Although I do imagine that some of it is, hey look, that still doesn't work. Well, yeah, I know. It's a work in progress. It moves, yay! Oh, before I was talking about the bottoms of these and how they look. So I'm going to show you. This one's a little different from the other ones. It's an angled edge instead of the edge that I want. And you'll notice that I have these little square patterns that are red in the corners. That's to tell me where pillars should go, to give the illusion that these don't just hang in midair. So that's more for me than anything, but yeah. That's for me or whoever else is doing the world build at that particular moment. So, hooray, and fun stuff. Alright? Don't judge. I'm sure you guys could do this too. But we're going to lay a floor right over here. Yeah, see, this is way too big. Why is this so big? I didn't make it that big. One of the problems I've been having with working in Blender and going to Hero Engine through Maya is the assets don't always convert right. I'm not 100% sure whether it's just an issue with Maya reading the Hero Engine, or with Maya reading the Blender files. Oh, that was weird. I didn't do that. Oh, okay. I clearly did, but that's not what I mean. I don't know what I did to make it do that. Oh, right. Grid. Snap to grid. Get off. Yeah, now I can just slide you where you need to go. Which is right there. As the Ninth Doctor would say, fantastic. Yes, I'm a Whovian. Get over it. Alright. As is my wife's 4th grade class. Excellent. I like it. So this is really just so that I know where floors are and where I want them. To be perfectly honest, this isn't the one I was looking for. Let's see if this one is. Really? Oh, you're the other version of that one. You're the middle version. Okay, cool. Delete. Don't need you. I need library. Yeah, I built a lot of these, by the way. There are actually more mid blocks than there are anything else. The reason for this is I figured I could probably just plop them down wherever. Okay, 1, 2, 4. Which one was this again? I really should have put snapshots on these. Oh, right. 3 walls, no exit, delete. You might be asking why I have buildings that have 4 walls and no exit. It's because of stuff. There is a purpose to them. I had a plan. I came into this with a plan, I assure you. That's block 1. Delete. Library. 2. Did I not upload it? I'm going to be really mad if I didn't upload it. Okay. Library. Add. Item. MS? What are you? Yes. Add to the library. What are you? Oh! This is the one with... Oh, S. Stairs. Right. Okay. That's what I'm going to put down for the ones that have stairs and no walls. Block 3. Oh, right. That's what block 3 is. Library, add item. So that's what that was. I was actually going to do a whole nother slew of these with only have... Oh, and this is our spacer. I will pull that open later. Right at the moment, I really don't want to. Okay. And this one has doors, but I don't remember how I did the doors. Oh, right. So you're just a middle block of the other one. So it looks like I went dumb when I uploaded these, and I didn't upload all of the ones that I wanted to. I'm not quite sure why. And you'll notice that I have a pillar test. It doesn't have any sort of texturing on it whatsoever. Alright, let's do you. Let's see what you are. Yes. Save. Show me. Okay. So I didn't build the one that I wanted, or I didn't upload the one that I wanted to. I have one in Blender, but I'm not going to really play with it too much right now. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to grab you, pull you back. Again, these aren't the ones that I want, but they're going to do for now. You can be deleted because I don't need you. I have you. Need another one like you. So, library. Where's my two doors? At an angle. There you are. Now you notice this one has the textures, but this one doesn't. Reason again is because I didn't upload these or export them out of Maya with textures on them. I probably should have, but I didn't. No judging. It's okay. I promise. It'll be fine. So, pull this up. And again, really all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just placing blocks where they need to go. I mean, this is a pretty blatant reminder. Hey, this needs a texture. I am, however, just going to go over here because the kaleidoscope bugs me to no end. It's kind of distracting. And the last thing that I need is a distraction. Trust me on this. All of my friends and family will tell you I am very much the, oh look, a butterfly type of person. They'll also tell you that I am a night owl, which is why I have no problem with the fact that it is dark out and I am still working. Of course, the promise of Chinese food coming is amazing, by the way. So, I hope y'all don't mind that I'm rambling quite a bit. It's mostly a distraction while I do all of the tedious, boring, you notice this is the same thing over and over and over again. I really should have probably textured this. I didn't because I wanted to get this done and I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what we're doing. I'm sure that if this gets enough likes and enough activity, I'll do another one. Again, this says ruby, this is clearly wood painted red. This is not going to be the final texture. Just in case anybody was wondering. I'm sure you folks are smart people though, and you'll figure that out all on your own without me telling you. So, I'm sure I don't need to tell you. Like I said, I think you're smart people. And if I don't think you're smart people, well, you already know that I don't think you're smart people, because I've probably told you. I'm that guy. But I don't really have a problem with anybody, so I haven't really told too many people that I don't think that they're intelligent. Come to think of it, the only people that I don't think are intelligent, I don't talk to anyway, so I doubt very seriously they'll see this video. Come on, don't be a pain. Now, I did build this in such a way. Aha! So, remember, I did the resizing earlier. Sorry, I'll come back to what I was saying before. No, I won't. I don't remember what that was. I'll find out when I watch the video. Which I am going to watch this before I upload it to see how badly I failed. See the kind of things that I missed earlier. Aha, see? Step on the floor. Aha, aha. Oh, I really shouldn't be laughing. This is kind of sad and pathetic. Come on. Ups-a-daisy. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up texturing this side so that it's... this part's red, this part's gold, and that way we don't see the seam anymore. Or, you know, I could do it right, but whatever. The problem that I have with Blender is that it doesn't let me... like, I would have done this all in Blender already, and then just uploaded the single asset, but for some reason, Blender doesn't like when you try and import a Blender mesh, which is what the polygons are called. It doesn't like when you import a Blender mesh into Blender. I don't know why. It's almost like you have to build the scene all at once, which I think is kind of silly, if you must know. I find that really dumb. But it's free, and it's really god-awful easy to use. Yes, it has its moments, but to be perfectly honest, they're really not that bad. Let's just slide you up just a little bit. Haha. Now, I do want to note, I'm really just kind of being anal retentive at this point. This... oh, wait, what? Why does it angle... oh, did I rotate this in another direction and I didn't realize it? Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So, let's go back over here. Let's go back over to rotate. I will bet you money that I did. Let's go back over here and let's find out. Up. And let's look at that. So that does get awful thin right there. I will bet you it is just a hair off. See? Just a skosh off. I don't know how it ended up like that, but yeah. I'm just gonna get nice and smooth. Now we're gonna go over to you. Go back over to the size tool. And just slide you right there. Haha! Now they are the same height. I know they are the same height, so it's no longer a problem. Oh, that's not... that isn't a part of it. Why am I looking at you? You were in my way. This is the problem with having all these blocks bunched up. I know I had Aubrey confirm for you earlier that I often put things in my way. This is just proof. Okay, so let's go up. We're going to click you, and we are going to rotate you 90 degrees to the left. Okay, so see that box that it's creating? Hey, go that way. Go that way. To be honest, I kind of wanted that wall there, but... really just me being remarkably perfectionistic at the moment. But there we go. So, main wall to the off building. And then this will lead to that floor piece that I deleted like a retard. So, I'm probably actually going to cut out a large portion of video. Correction. I am going to cut that part out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys. I went into the video editor and I removed a good section, so I'm not really sure which point yet that I dropped off at and which point I picked up on. but well, I do know which portion I picked up on, but you'll notice that I do have the 3 blocks. There is a little bit of a lip on this one, so I'm going to pick that up a little bit. There we go. Just a hair off. There we go. And I resized this one because I don't want to resize these ones, and I'm going to have to resize just about every single one of these because they're all just a skosh off. I don't like that they're off, but whatever. Yeah, see? There it is, right there. Okay, so apparently it wasn't off. Apparently it's just me being crazy. There was a section that ended up getting cut out in the editing. Oh no, there's the lip. I'm not crazy. That one's lined up, this one's not. It's the rotation. Great. I screwed up the rotation. Fun. So we're just going to go. Oh, look. See that lip? Don't like it. I don't like it at all. No, sir. Any of you who have ever watched Ren and Stimpy know exactly what that's from. No, sir. Didn't like it. Alright. Slide you forward. Now let's slide it this way. You're a problem. You're going to be a problem block, aren't you? Yes, you are. Anyway, so now we're just going to drop the player down, and we see that, yes, she can stand on the wall. There's our scene. It is so screwy. That's 7 shades of awesome. I am going to have to fix these blocks. There's no doubt about that. So, hoping to avoid it. It's not going to happen. Whatever. So, anyway, this is going to be the first portion. Really, I'm just trying to give you an idea of how I want things to look. Like I said, at some point I will get all of these things connected in as a single asset. You'll notice that lip up there is still going to bug the crud out of me. There it is. Okay. Let's drop in real quick. I just want to see this. Okay. Where's the lip? So annoying. See, that one's okay. Oh, I know. I know what it is. I had to move this block earlier because there was a strange lip on it. And I bet you it's this right here. Okay. Crab. So, not really sure how much time I cut off the video. I've been actually filming since about 4:30 or so. It took a lot longer to upload things to the repository browser than I had hoped. But I'm not really quite sure why it did that. But I ended up uploading about, I want to say, 240, 250 files. So, but I am going to cut this one pretty soon because I know it's getting a bit long, and I'm going to edit it, and then we will go from there. So, I know I made a post earlier where I said I didn't really know how long I was going to do these, but I do know that I'm going to end up doing it in sections. So I'll continue building the Dwarven city for you guys to watch, the Dwarven Palace in this case. I am going to continue building it, and I'm going to have you guys watch. Or you guys can watch if you so choose. But remember to keep hitting the likes. Sorry, I got a little unhappy with that and how it was constantly being a pain. So, that being said, Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut it short right about now. Well, I shouldn't say I'm going to cut it short. This is actually a really long video, so I'm going to cut it now, especially since I have dinner coming pretty soon. But you get kind of an idea. It is going to look... It's not going to look exactly like this when I'm done. I don't know what it is with that vertices. It just doesn't want to... Anyway, so the plan is it's going to look something like this. I will find the other blocks and I will put them all in, and I promise they'll all have textures. That way we're not wasting a lot of time with me having to put all the textures back on there. But keep an eye out for video 2. I will continue to do the Dwarven City, and just for fun, we'll go back over here and I will place a tree as my word, representative of my word. Where'd the player go? Player was on the front door. There she is. So, just to kind of, you know, stay true to my word, we're going to go right over here. Load tree. Hero engine. Ouroboros. World. Speed trees. My Dwarven forest. And I'm going to make it the Dwarven oak. So. I don't know where it ended up. Okay, fine. Library. Forest assets. Dwarven oak. It wanted to be testy with me. Sometimes you just gotta fight harder than the machine. This may sound like I'm talking about an episode of Terminator or something. The movie Terminator. But anyway, place the roots, make sure that it works, pull it towards me a little bit, and yes, that is bark. I don't know why, but I get this feeling that somebody's going to ask if that's really bark. Yes, look. And doesn't that look pretty? I made that. Anyway. So there's the oak. I'm sure I'll move it around some at some point, but for now, it's just going to go right there. So, anyway guys, I will see you next time. Toodles!